All right, in today's video, I'm going to talk about who I want as Trump's vice president, and I made a list of rankings. Really, kind of how I see it right now and how I want it to be. Um, so let's get into this. The first person on my list who I think Trump should pick as vice president is Vivek Ramaswamy. Reason being, I think the dude is like an excellent communicator. He can articulate his words so well that this is a dude that can just defend Trump like nobody else. He's gonna be Trump's sidekick. You got Trump over here fighting the war. I mean, against media, they're charging him with everything they can right now. He's just being attacked constantly every day. And you got Vivek over here. That man will defend his back like no other. I think Vivek is very interesting. We don't know a whole lot about him. He's new into politics. I mean, he just came in the last, year or so as he's running for vice president. So he kind of just built his name up by doing that. And then I think that he would be a prime candidate to be president in 2028 when Trump is done with serving his term. He would kind of slide in there as probably the favorite for the Republican nominee in 28. And then of course you have the chance of, if the vice president has to actually serve as president, I would be very confident in him and happy with him, and I'd have trust in him. My one thing though is that since we do not know a lot about him, he says a lot of things, and how do we know that he's gonna really do these things? Could be a lot of lip service. I don't know. He says good things. I hope that he would do these things. He's number one on my list. Number two, I'm going with Tulsi Gabbard. Tulsi is a former Democrat who left the party maybe last year, independent. But she's also very she's conservative on a lot of things, and so I think she would be an awesome person to bring in as the VP pick that could pull some independent voters. Now they say that vice president, it never really helps somebody, but it can hurt them. I think out of anyone that Trump could pick, Tulsi would probably help him the most. I think she probably could pull maybe some mad Democrats over, and maybe in the independent vote, she could probably help sway over. It wouldn't be that much, but I think she would have a little bit of an effect. She's a very stable person. She kind of even out Trump a little bit. Sometimes you want the vice president to even out what the president is. Trump's very, aggressive, out there, just running his mouth, saying things. Tulsi's a lot more stable, very calculated, slower. She kind of even him out. I'm also really a big fan of her, how she's been in the military, and she's really against the military industrial complex. She understands it, and I think she'd be perfect for helping with that and defunding a lot of these things that we don't need to be funding. And so I think Tulsi would be perfect. And then also, again, you have the chance of them serving as president. I think Tulsi would be a good president. And then again, this sets her up for 2028 to probably be, I don't know if she ran as a Republican nominee, but she probably have a good chance of doing it if she ran as a Republican. Now, my third one is Doug Burgum, governor of North Dakota. And I'm going to be honest, the main reason I'm doing this is because he's the governor of North Dakota. It would be kind of sweet to see someone from North Dakota be vice president, but I also think he would be good at the job. Now, this is a guy, he's not very charismatic, but he's just very stable. He is a good communicator, very stable, and I think he would be, he'd make a good vice president. He's good on the economy. He's good on energy. Being from North Dakota, he's very good with energy, and he's also good with he's like Trump. He's kind of the political outsider, not owned by anybody. He funds his own campaigns, and so he's really gonna do what he's wrong, and he's not gonna be controlled, hopefully, by get out to Washington people out there that pull the strings. So I like Burgum. He's a little socially left on some things. So in North Dakota, I haven't been the biggest fan of that. And I think that Burgum, he's not a guy that's a big threat to become president. I think if he's the VP, I mean, I think he'll run again in 28, but I don't think he'd have a shot. He's just not, he doesn't have the charisma to be president. But he's just very articulate, very well spoken, smart guy. Perfect number two. He'd be perfect vice president. I think he'd do a great job at that. And so that's going to be my third pick. And then I don't really have a huge clump after that or a list after that. I'm just kind of, everything's also kind of just floating around. I'm not sure. I can tell you who I don't want, and that is Tim Scott. I do not want Tim Scott. He's a little, sometimes again, socially liberal on some things. And I don't know. I don't want Nikki Haley. I think she's out of it, but definitely just don't want Nikki Haley. She's bought and owned. Again, she's just part of the swamp. And now, again, that term's thrown around so much. What does that mean?